Hi, we're Jackie and Dan from Four Packs Travel.
Will and Jess asked us to come along and share a few of our money saving tips with you. So here we are. We've been travelling for a bit over a year and a half with our kids and just with carry-on backpacks. And we're not working at the moment, so we're just sort of watching our savings dwindle. Which means that we'll pick up quite a few ways along the way. I mean, some of it's pretty straightforward and some of it's just things that we've sort of learned to help us keep our costs down. So we thought we'd share.
So we're currently in Myanmar and our kids are back at home with our parents. So we're having a break and they're having a break.
So one of the biggest things that you can do if you want to save some money is just to be flexible. And it's hard when you're working and the kids are at school, say, or you've got work commitments to go around, but with what we're doing, we've got complete flexibility, and it means that we're free to take all those dirt cheap flights that pop up. And we've found some beauties. We've paid €5 once each to fly from Bucharest in Romania to Berlin.
Germany, yep.
We've got flights from Asia to Australia for 100 Aussie dollars each. Just all those amazing bargains that pop up. We subscribe to a few Facebook groups like Secret Flying.
That's the one.
Set them to come up first, and then every time we sort of happen to go onto Facebook, any new ones will pop up. And sometimes we'll look at each other and say, "Hey, $120 from London to Tanzania. What do you think?" And then if we find something,
works.
and then we plan around it.
Yeah.
So
Not only being flexible with dates, but locations you're flying into and out from as well. So it might be cheaper to, like if you're heading to Paris, it might be cheaper to fly into London and then find a connecting flight there instead of just flying straight to Paris. So all those little things help as well.
that's true. Yeah, well that €5 flight from Bucharest that I mentioned, we were actually in Bulgaria and we needed to get to Poland for something.
Yeah.
So rather than just searching for flights from, say, Sofia to Poland, we used Kiwi.com, which is a flight website it's really powerful. It's got a heap of flexibility.
Yeah.
You can put in search radiuses, flexible dates, everything. It's probably finding that really helped us to.
We found that in our first couple of weeks of travelling, and it's saved us a lot of money.
We've used it extensively. So in that case, I think from memory, what I would have done is dragged a radius around where we were in Bulgaria that extended out to the neighbouring countries.
Yeah.
And then the same again, instead of just searching for flights to one city or even just Poland, I did a radius around it because I know that in Europe you can get cheap bus fares. So I thought, well, if we find somewhere nearby, if a flight to Prague was a fraction of the price and we could jump on a bus for a day, it would be cheaper.
Yeah, and not just one certain date, like your radius would be with the dates as well, so maybe within a week or a week and a half on either side. So all that, just find dirt cheap flights. So tip number 1, be flexible.
If you can.
If you can, yeah. Number 2, we travel carry-on, so going back to the flights, that saved us lots of money. So that flight that Dan was talking about to Berlin, it was €5, and if we had check-in luggage, it would have been another €50 each. So although carry-on I have struggled with it.
It's great.
Over and over. There's something good about walking past all the people who are waiting for their luggage and just saying, "Yeah."
True. Yeah. Might not be for everyone, and our son and myself are fine with it. I mean, everything I own now fits into a backpack, so I love it. But Jackie and our daughter Miller sometimes struggle a little bit more.
We do. I've recently got a slightly bigger bag, so I'm going much better. Another thing that we do, or mainly Daniel, is he researches a lot. So when we get to a place like Rome, where everything is super expensive, we do free walking tours instead of paying for them, or we look to see where the locals eat, things that they like to do and go and see. So that, thank you, has saved us heaps and heaps of money. And there's a really good website that we use for that as well, called Wikivoyage.
.org, I think. It's part of the Wikipedia Foundation.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Brilliant, just for info in general. everything you could want to know about a place, really all put in by other travellers.
Yeah.
Even just including the best way to get from the airport into town or connections to other places.
Yeah.
It's been really valuable.
And that's, I mean, coming out of airports, that's always a tricky one. So it's always good to know ahead of time how to do it.
Yeah, you don't want to be at the mercy of all the touts.
Exactly. Yeah. Another one is because there's 4 of us, it makes it a little bit easier. We rent Airbnbs where possible, particularly through Europe because it's more expensive than Asia and Central America. It gave us a kitchen, so the kids could have breakfast. We don't really eat breakfast, so but we could have coffee.
Having a kitchen is just brilliant. Where we are now in Myanmar, and we've just been in Borneo and everything, it's so cheap, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
We could pop next door where we were just in Borneo prior to this and get an iced coffee for about 70 cents and breakfast for about another 70 cents.
I think all up, we had this massive breakfast and it cost us like $3.30. It was
But then when we were in a place like Norway,
if
we didn't have a kitchen, we just no one would have eaten for the whole month we were in Nordic countries. It was crazy.
And it's not like our kids are really young, and like our son
Ollie's nearly a teenager and
he's huge
he's
and
like
he
a
eats
horse.
more than we do, so maybe even more than us put together.
So being able to, when we need to, or when we're somewhere really expensive to cook meals, saves a ton.
Yeah.
And that's something that if you have a motorhome or a camping car or a boat or I don't know, anything like that, it lets you carry a little kitchen with you, and you can just pop into the supermarket and grab some basic stuff or grab whatever you need. Grab some gourmet stuff,
but for us, I mean, over the last 20 months we've been to almost 40 countries, so it gets tiring. But talking about accommodation, I suppose another way to save money is house sitting. We spent 4 months in the UK, and we house sit 2 very lovely families. Thank you. And they're beautiful animals. They're dogs, and that's a big save, especially in a country as big as the UK.
It's expensive as the UK, right?
Oh, what did I say?
It's big.
That
Not
too.
that big in comparison.
But it's so expensive in the UK. So food, transport, anything. So to have that and to be able to
to cut accommodation out.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're helping somebody else out too. We've made fantastic friends with the people we house out for.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge thing.
So,
that's been really
we're
great.
Lucky enough to really get along with them, so that was fantastic. And also lucky because both our kids were missing animals at the time, and still are. But it was just a great break for us, and just to have the dogs, that was really nice, and to save all that money. It's a big money saved there.
Some people base their whole thing around house sitting. Some people do it almost full time. We haven't, but I think we're definitely sort of looking at it, and we keep a bit of an eye on what's out there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we just feel like we need a break, a bit of time in one place where we can just sort of slow down and catch up on school and everything. So and look after some animals, help somebody out, meet some new people, and it's great to live in a local neighbourhood too, which often they are. So it can be a great way to sort of save a bit of money, and also it's a good experience in itself. What it has been for us. But,
it has. And I suppose another thing that we spend, that could double some of your spending is when you get drinks with your meals. That can happen sometimes. So if you do drink alcohol, then just be aware that it will double your bill.
We're Aussies, so we live up to the stereotype and don't mind a beer after a hot day, but
like now would be lovely.
But we'd sometimes be at a restaurant, and whether it's in Italy or wherever,
you just can't.
And go and have a look at a bottle that we saw at the supermarket, and we might have had after dinner at home the night before for €5, and it's on the menu for 25.
Yeah, so take it home if you can.
I mean we just generally we don't drink wine at restaurants if it's ridiculously priced, because if we feel like a glass of wine. We can get back to our Airbnb, we can have dinner, get back and watch a movie or something with a glass of wine then, and that's something that we definitely do overpaying the inflated prices for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can find a carafe of wine, you know,
Yeah.
for
Through Italy, that
€7
was-
€6
Yeah.
for a
Or
litre,
if
you
you
know,
go to
just the house
Bulgaria, the
wine.
wine there is really good and really cheap. So that was really good. But a beer here in Myanmar is probably, apart from India, the cheapest we've had. So the bottles, I mean, what is it?
It's about
under a dollar.
$2 for.
It's under $1.
No.
Oh no, $2.
Yeah, it's about $2 for a big bottle.
Big one.
And it's so hot right now. It's
40. It was 40 today. So
Yeah, it's going to be 40 all week, which is 100 Fahrenheit, I think, roughly, just over.
no idea.
But it's actually just off topic. It's Thing Yen, which is the New Year's festival, the Buddhist festival, and it's where they basically shut down the whole country for a few days and have a big water
For
fight.
about 5 days, we can't go anywhere.
So seeing how it's so
gonna be
hot, we're looking
interesting.
forward to it actually. Yeah.
So spending longer in cheaper countries would definitely help with budget. We spent 14 months in Europe, so that wasn't great for our budget. But we're now,
Some parts were better.
Yeah.
Stay away from Norway.
but we're now in Asia, which is great because we missed it. And next we're heading to the US, so that will hurt a little bit, but not a little bit.
Not as much.
No, not as much as Norway. And then heading down to Mexico and gonna chill there for a bit, and then travel down through Central and South America. So
Yep.
that will be really good.
Yeah, I think we definitely could have got out of Europe. We love Europe, but we did spend quite a bit of time in the Balkans, which was quite cheap.
Yeah.
Definitely not as cheap as you know, Southeast Asia.
No.
So
Apart from Albania.
Albania
was
was
really
cheap.
cheap.
But yeah,
So-
if you spread it out, I mean, you know, everyone probably wants to go to France and Italy and everything,
And it's lovely.
It's
France
lovely.
is really good.
But you know, if you want to balance the budget out over the year, say,
Think
duck
about
over to
weeks.
Morocco, which is
Oh,
fantastic.
Morocco is fantastic.
Um,
And Jess will tell you that too. They've been out.
yeah. Oh, we loved it. Yeah, we want to go back.
Yeah.
You guys are making us jealous looking at all your
Yeah.
photos and things, and videos.
Yeah. And another way we save money is by mainly just connecting to Wi-Fi wherever we can. So we do, when we stay longer in countries, we do get a SIM card. Like now we're here for a month in Myanmar, so we bought a SIM card each and it was $6 Aussie, which was great. But most of the time we're Wi-Fi. All through Europe, and even Eastern Europe, not through the Baltic states, free Wi-Fi, really
Oh,
easy to find.
everywhere.
But
yeah.
through Asia, it's okay, but it's not fantastic.
But SIM cards are
Wi-Fi,
cheap here.
But they are,
Yeah. And I mean, we sort of, I don't know how we do, we always end up using a heap of data, I think, just streaming videos and downloading programs and updating
It's the kids.
software and the kids, blame the kids. If we're on SIM cards, you know, we'd have to...
You're more conscious about
We
it.
did that actually, we booked a place in India
Yeah.
for a couple of weeks in Goa, and it was fantastic. We swam at the beach every day.
It was good.
Didn't realise when we booked it, it didn't have Wi-Fi, and that was, I think, the first and only place we've ever booked that didn't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And so we topped up our SIM cards, and we tried to go easy on it. We spent I mean, India is still pretty cheap for data, but we ended up spending a fortune in those 2 weeks. We could have booked a nicer place that had Wi-Fi and, you know, still save money. So if you don't need to be connected around the clock, depending on where you are, you can probably get by without it and save some extra wriggle room in the budget.
Yeah. And some of you might have work commitments, so that's a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, for us, you know, traveling on savings generally, we haven't needed it, like, you know, to be there and depend on it. So we've been really lucky that way.
One good thing about SIM cards is that if you want to
It is
catch a
good.
Grab or an Uber, you can just switch your phone on and catch a Grab or an Uber and not have to deal with, you know, negotiating with taxi drivers in some countries that, you know, they want to rip you off because they know you're a foreigner.
Especially if you're coming from the airport.
So that is something we've sometimes wandered around, you know, Bangkok or wherever it is, trying to find some Wi-Fi so we can catch an Uber home.
Yeah.
It's definitely, you'll get ripped off in the developing world.
Yeah. Sorry, we're just in a hostel, so if you hear any noise, it's someone coming in.
Yeah, so using things like that, Grab and Uber, ride sharing stuff. Wade up and cheaper. Hey, how are you?
So when there's four of us, so often it's cheaper to grab a Uber or a Grab than catching the train, and we do that a lot. But when now it's just the two of us, we'll definitely be sitting on some really long, uncomfortable buses. But all through Myanmar, they're known for their uncomfortable.
Yeah, but you wouldn't catch a Grab for 600 k's.
No, I know that.
Tourist traps.
Yes.
Tough one, because you don't want to go to Athens and not go to the thingamajig that I've had a mental blank about. The Acropolis.
I was going to say the apocalypse.
That's it. But then again, I don't know, in some countries, the touristy stuff is really expensive.
Yeah.
And it depends on what you get out of travelling. I mean, when we were in India, we definitely went and saw the Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
And that was really expensive by Indian standards. But, we've been sitting
and you
here
pay
now.
more than the Indians.
Oh, 10 times more. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, we'd kick ourselves if we did.
Exactly.
So you've got to balance that one up.
Yeah.
There have been some things that we've looked at the cost of it, and just thought, well, you know what, we don't really need to do that, and but you don't want to skimp out on things, leave a country and then look back and regret not doing something like camel rides in India, say, or sleeping in the desert. It was really good and worth the cost.
Yeah, and as I said before, we do a lot of self-tours, so things that we do, like, what's that app?
Rick Steves, Audio Europe.
Does a lot of Europe, a lot of the main things in Europe, so instead of paying for
you can do it at your own pace. Yeah, you download an app
really
and
good.
whatever you want to do, a walking tour offline, and pop your earphones in. You can wander through Rome while they say, on the left, you'll look up and see the church, and they tell you all about it. So, the walking tours, though, we just pay a tip, can be really good.
Yeah.
We haven't done many, to be honest, but
definitely some more would be good.
Yeah, well, that's something we'll do more.
Yeah. And spending longer in one place, we haven't got there yet. Obviously, we've almost been to 40 countries in 20 months. So, but that has cost us probably the most. Is just moving too quickly.
Oh yeah. If you stayed in 4 places for 3 months in a year, you'd have to pay for flights or buses or whatever it is 4 times.
Yeah, I suppose
if you do it,
transport has been our biggest cost.
If you spend a week in a place, you're paying for it 52 times. So.
And you're getting a better rate as well.
Yeah,
so a better rate.
You get some really good.
On Airbnb.
Yeah,
so.
Monthly discounts on Airbnb can be really big.
Yeah.
And if you're in a place for even longer than that, you can negotiate. Walk around, ask around, and find some local rentals.
Particularly in Asia. You might rent a place for a week or a few days, and then try and negotiate while you're there.
Yeah. Food, we eat street food a lot. Depends where we are. We didn't in India, Myanmar. Some of the places are a bit sort of dodgy looking, so we probably go a step up from the real street food. And then eat the street food that's sort of the next level up, if that makes sense. And we've had, Malaysia's great for food. We've just left there, like we said. We've eaten so much good food for so little money.
Yeah.
If you want to eat at really sort of nice looking tourist focused places, a lot of the time, especially in Asia, you get more or less the same food, but for 5 times the price, just in a slightly nicer setting.
Yeah.
It's not worth it for us.
No, particularly how Ollie eats. So.
Yeah, we do have splurges. Sometimes we'll find a really nice restaurant and just go out and have a really nice meal. But
or it'll be our birthday or something like that.
But on the whole, we just try and eat like the locals. Yeah. And I don't know, it's a lot more authentic to you're eating the local food a lot of the time with the local people. If we can walk into a place and be the only foreigners there, we're usually pretty happy.
I'm happy. Yeah. And
lucky last.
Yeah. Another big one is we walk everywhere. So if we can,
we're practical.
Yeah, we're practical. There's a bit of a running joke. How far is it, Dan? Oh, it's just a K.
About a K. Yeah,
but it might
everything's
be 3.
About a K. Yeah, and our kids are great. We're really lucky. They'll walk everywhere. Sometimes we'll walk for I don't even know how many thousands of steps a day. But I don't know. It saves so much mucking around, and it gets you fit, and it gets you healthy.
Yeah. And they'll walk with their backpacks on. Get off the bus, and they'll walk 3Ks to the accommodation. They're fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. God, we've done that so often.
At the beginning, Milla wasn't like that, but she's much better now.
Yeah. Yeah.
a bit older.
Otherwise, I mean, it's not even that big a cost, but it does add up. And unless it's really late, if we're getting somewhere and it's 11 o'clock at night, we'll jump in a Grab,
Yeah.
or an Uber.
Yeah. So,
We're not ridiculous about it, but just, day to
Most of the
day,
time.
if it's a couple of Ks away, it only takes 20 minutes to walk.
yeah, exactly.
And it gets us out there and hopefully keeping somewhat fit. So.
So we hope you've enjoyed our top tips for saving money. Follow us on Instagram at 4packs Travel, Facebook, and our
Vlog coming soon.
yay! It's really close, I promise. And thanks, Will and Jess.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye, guys.